2021. And then Poppy left. Tabe went on to win MSI again. Now drafting against one another, and it's Poppy with the heads-up advantage. 2-1 so far. Xayah first pick for LNG. It's answered. This time it's Yagao going on to the Azir. So Jace taken off the board and Azir locked in. LeBlanc gone. Shun takes the Sejuani.
Dude, Joe, they're doing it. They're drafting team fight. What the? I'm happy. LNG. Let's see. Maokai, right? Feels like a given. What do they want to do for Scout? Oh, the Tristana got left up this time, of course, because of the LeBlanc ban. So LNG, double AD carry, plus the tree, and room to basically just have a bunch of frontliner alongside it. BLG. Is it Ksante? Is it... Oh, okay, the Rell is what's going to be here. So now I'm expecting something like Alistar plus the Braum bans away from Hung. And you're happy with him going onto the Nautilus, but Alistar's been an annoying matchup. And then, of course, I beg your pardon, Braum, I feel like is such a great tool for dealing with disengage, or dealing with engage. Fires disengage that you don't really want to have to run into it. For LNG, probably Elk AD carries, right? Aphelios, maybe the Varus alongside it will probably be the two bans I'm expecting out of them.
See, is that actually Gwen going to be taken off of the board? Trying to deny Bin a carry here. Feeling like Bin will want to have some strength in the top side. That's 3 top lane bans levied at Bin already from LNG. I don't know if there even is a 4th LA top laner that you're expecting from Bin, aside from the Ksante here. Whether or not you want to actually ban away the Ksante is a different thing, because, I mean, so far LNG have shown that they can deal with the Ksante.
I'll be honest, I'm more... So, unless it's protection bans because you want Ksante. Oh, they're splitting bans. Okay, very interesting. So, Aphelios gone. Does Elk just want, you know, again, the Varus as kind of just this lane answer? I feel like it would probably make the most sense. You give yourself a pretty stable lane. He hasn't really picked up too much, though, so I wonder if it's going to be something else, like this Jinx. Yeah, that's the thing in the back of my head. And again, leans more into hyper carry. BLG with the Azir. I mean, all these hovers kind of just make sense either way. And now LNG, whatever the AD carry is going to be Ezreal of all things, know that they're dealing with basically scaling, waiting for 2 items, right? And they'll have a counter pick for Bin, which they'll hope looks to break the game if you're BLG. LNG need to find something stable. Let's see what they go towards. Again, I think the Braum is kind of a bit of a given, Joe, for Hung, and it's about what Zika's willing to count, blind pick rather, into the top side.
You say that. Hung happy to go for the Leona again. It looked pretty damn good in the 3rd game of the series. And there we go, the Ksante this time taken by LNG. Does Bin just go for the Gnar? It's been working against the Ksante so far in Zika's favor.
Fiora.
But no,
yeah,
Fiora locked in. Let's go, Bin bringing it out and wanting to show up. Remember, this is the pick that he got his World's Finals pentakill on back in 2020. He's bringing it out just for Zika today. Exactly.
He's looking to try and dominate the 1v1. Wouldn't be surprised if BLG looked for a similar level of aggression into the top side that they did in level 1 at game number 1 as well. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Zika, I feel like on the Ksante, a little more well suited to deal with, you know, pressure like that. Or Renekton really can be, but mostly post level 6, right? So we'll see how things kind of pan out, because for BLG, it's Azir, Ezreal in the bottom and the mid answer to after 25-30 minutes.
Let's see. I feel like BLG are laying down the gauntlet. Let's see if LNG can pick it up. So, BLG... Oh, go on.
I think the LNG... We caught the lost LNG Gyro, and it didn't sound that quiet.
So, he's saying the crowd is flip-flopping.
I'm saying the crowd might be flip-flopping a little bit.
If they're anything like most of the crowds I've been a part of, they just want a good game. Like, a lot of them will be cheering for a team, but the most important thing is bangers when you're going to an event. Well, we'll have to see. As BLG, I feel like are kind of calling LNG out with this composition. They're sort of saying, look, we're playing for the late game. You have to put pressure on us. You have to speed the game up, and you have to end the game before 30 minutes, or we're going to win in the team fights. And the question is, can LNG do that? I feel like LNG have been picking up the pace over the course of the year. Like, earlier on in the year, they were a much slower team. It feels like in some of their games against JDG, against top esports, they were very willing to bring a lot of strength to that early game. See if they can bring that here today in game number 4 as BLG are up against the ropes.
BLG up against the ropes. Outside of being against JDG, how many times throughout the year have we really said that about them? Bin taking a pretty good level 1 trade here.
Oh,
If that riposte lands, makes the trade even more heavy-handed. Like the idea. But this is just going to continue to happen, Joe. Throughout a lot of this laning phase, Bin's going to have a lot of freedom. But it will be about how LNG either look to, you know, effectively cross-map it or ignore it, or actually look to put pressure down. But, you know, Maokai Ksante into Fiora, yeah, it's going to be a difficult ask, to say the least, to take down that Fiora. And Shun already looking for an aggressive angle, but the sapling... Ooh, well
spot him. So Shun noted and won't be able to find his play towards the top side. Tarzan well aware that this could happen, setting up those saplings in advance.
I also want to really highlight his pathing as well. Started on the Raptors, went to blue, then Grump, dropped the sapling in that bush to kind of cover the dive, and then goes back towards the wolves, and of course, naturally, the rest of his full clear. So really intelligent adaptation based on what happened in game 1, just to ensure that there's no dive, and at the very least, he'll be there to cover if a dive was on the table for BLG.
Tarzan towards the bottom side now, Shun in the bottom quadrant as well. So could be a bit of action here as Hung does look for an engage, but the damage out from Elk should be able to dissuade a little bit of this as Hung keeps on stepping up forwards as Yagao taking a lot of damage from Scout here. Jump has been reset, gets the slow. Yagao trying to return, the damage jumps in for the shield. Scout so low on HP, but Yagao walks away and it's traded. The tower shot takes him 1-for-1 in the mid lane.
Oh man, Scout really wanted that 1v1, and Yagao dashes in like a psycho as well. Absolutely insane amount of confidence. Yeah, it's so hilarious. I mean, the thing is, I feel like for Scout that's okay. Basing on a Vamp Scepter against you know, against a Tome and a Crystal, you're not too fast, right? You can now kind of take a couple of health trades. You're gonna slowly lifesteal back up, and that could be a way that he regains a little bit of priority as junglers. What about bottom side play? Here you go.
Elk jumps in for a bit of damage. Hung the target as he gets stunned up as Gala trying to threaten the enemy AD carry. Tarzan moves into the lane, but Hung is so low. This could be dangerous. Gala slowed, stun coming in, knock up onto Tarzan. Stun is there, damage available as Elk flashes forwards. They're all so low, but Shun's the one turned around on, and the tower shot gets him. LNG play it immaculately.
What the hell is going on? Everyone's splashing in, out. Somehow LNG are the ones to walk away with the kill and no one dropping. BLG, I feel like, you know, read the situation. They had the information at hand as well. Hung goes in. Yeah, I mean, it's a strange one, but no one has flash. We'll see if maybe revisits from either jungler can look to punish. For now, though, again, mid lane trade should be pretty favorable. Health trace, that is, to Scout, because he's got that Vamp Scepter. That one for him earlier. A strange set of ganks coming out from both sides. Let's get a look at it, because you can clearly see Shun, you know, they see Shun. It's not like they don't see Shun. So they made the call very early on to look for the engage, despite the fact it's an immediate 3v2. Flash out from Hung is good to keep him alive, but then Tarzan can't really add anything to this place. So now they're retreating. Rell's got the move forward as a...
that thought. Scout's been found, and my God, what can you do? Bin grabs himself a kill. Second death now for Scout as he's caught in the top side of the jungle. And I mean, Bin resetting with a kill, with a 15 CS lead. You know he's going to come back with a lot of damage. There's a Sheed in his pocket already, as well as a Kindle Gem. That lane ain't getting any easier for Zika.
No, it is not. And he's going to continue to scale on that side lane, Bin. So, yeah, I'm really... What was Scout doing there is the real question.
Ah, they're trying to collapse on him.
Yeah. All right. Well, that makes a little bit more sense then. But sucks, because not only did he get turned around on, he had more immediate help, unfortunately. And not only that, I think as the picture-in-picture collapses, you can see on the top side, a big wave has also crashed into Bin. So not only did he find the kill, he's got a massive wave that he's just soaked up very, very happily.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be on there.
He's absolutely... He's just relaxing in the top side, isn't he? He's got a big CS lead. He's got the item advantage. And he's got the counter pick. Let's be real. Shunning on, though. Chased out of the jungle here. Tarzan doesn't commit to anything.
Not willing to. Do they want the dragon? Is this what this setup is about? I mean, I feel like the laners of LNG are definitely a little bit stronger right now. And they feel it, they're going in.
Shun could be in trouble as on. Gonna get a bit of honey fruit. There's no damage on either side. Like Maokai, Leona versus Rell and Sejuani. What is any of them gonna do to the other? And they both, I think, realize it. Backing away, they need some carries involved. Zika, oh no, could be in trouble. Bin looking for damage. Grand Challenge is gonna come off cooldown any second now. Zika solo on HP. Bin just gonna back away. The wave in a decent spot, although that's a lot of minions. The cannon might be able to even things out, I'm not sure. Bin maybe it just crashes this, since he knows both junglers are on the bottom side anyway.
Yep, exactly. He doesn't really care. I think, realistically, unless he's, like, chunked out really low, the threat of him being a 1v2 relatively low flash riposte, he's always going to be able to dodge out on some kind of CC, you'd like to imagine. So yeah, I mean, Bin, again, should just continue to scale up fine, right? He's approaching that kind of 10 CS per minute mark. I'm not going to say he's perfect CSing, but he's going to be getting there relatively soon. LNG really want to start this dragon up sooner rather than later, but they've just not been able to find the window. BLG have done a really good job of just kind of being around the area and having enough pressure. Maybe this is the window. We'll see, because, again, I always like to talk about when we get these side laning picks, the way that you can really shut down a Fiora, a Camille, anything like that that wants to hard commit to a side lane is just stack the dragon super early on, but LNG haven't been able to get that one going just yet in the first 3.5 minutes of its life.
Feels like that could be the next target for them. Tarzan's in the area. Yagao finds Scout, but it's a good buffer. On the rocket jump, Scout keeps himself safe. Digging deep here in the mid lane. He's 1 and 2 so far. Found the solo kill, but found the solo death as well, and then caught out on the top side. Does need to be a little cautious in that mid lane, but Yagao not having ult, perhaps has an opportunity for pressure himself in the mid lane. Moves over towards Herald, but he's kind of on the wrong side of the play here. The Sound Soldiers come out. Scout in a 1v2. The stun comes out onto him. Has to just get out of dodge.
Huh. Okay. Interesting from Scout. Good luck, Elk.
Cleanses the root. Hung moving in. Who's going to tank it is the question. Minions is still there. Well, it's just perfect, isn't it? I love the LNG. They wait as long as possible before tanking the tower, making sure everyone is in range. Immaculate dive onto the AD carry.
Another minor thing as well, don't forget Cleanse gives you like a massive boost of tenacity after the proc as well. It's not just about cleansing that initial CC, it's everything else that follows in the next couple of seconds. So patience pays off there as well, as the change CC comes in after the cleanse, and execution, easy as you like, on, I think it was on a reset timer. So just, again, really good window from LNG to punish. It's the back of that dragon, but as we were alluding to, that scaling battle on the side lane, Bin just picked up his Sunder up, and it's actually well before Zika's going to pick up that Thornmail just to deal with the 1v1, so he is going to win out really hard on this side lane for now. As, let's see, so it's just a cancel of the base? No. Yeah, cancel of the base from Elk, and they saw the recall. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And then they just immediately go, yep, this guy is by himself. Let's kill him. Cleanse comes out, but again, it takes, 2-3 seconds. By the time they start the chain CC, you can see the cleanse already, that tenacity window passed up.
Fantastic stuff. Just great split-second decision-making there from LNG. They see on recall, they're like, this is a dive. Instant. You know it's drilled. You know that they've done that plenty of times in scrims, plenty of times across the course of the year here in the LPL. And LNG, remember, this is the team that nobody really was looking towards as a favorite for finals. Everyone came into playoffs saying it's BLG and JDG once again. Everyone expected that to be our final. But LNG, they want to say something about that. It's not that big of a gold lead just yet, but it's a lead nonetheless. 400 in their favor, and so much of that lead in Gala's pockets. Hung, stunned up by On here as Yagao moves in as well. Blue buff taken by Tarzan, denied from BLG. Scout moving over, Solar Flare. But Azir loves the sun. He's from the desert. Now Scout has been found as stunned, buffered. Well played by Scout.
Yeah, really good job. I mean, Scout's had a bit of an awkward set of games. Oh, Zika. gonna be in any threat. Grand challenge isn't cooled down. Yeah, Scouts had a very awkward set of sequence of plays so far this game. That was not one of them. But yeah, I mean, as we get this long extended ban, Binge is going to keep on doing that. Someone needs to do something about it, or LNG need to continue to force plays on the bottom side. And that's pretty much it. BLG,
yeah.
I think the goal is pretty simple in my mind. You either accelerate Bin, or you just look to nullify the plays. Elk by himself again, no cleanse just yet.
Oh, flash underneath the tower from Hung. He's tanking for the time being. Gala has just dived beyond the tower here, and Hung with a stopwatch keeps himself safe. Gala can just walk past the tower, or can he? Magnet Storm to pull him in as Shun arrives, as does Yagao.
Oh, Yagao!
Oh, no! He messes up the shuffle, and it means Shun is caught out in the middle of nowhere. Scout grabs a kill, an absolute whiff on the side of BLG.
Oh man, I think that wall might be too thick to like get through it fully. So the idea is he trying to like shifts up into the top side, hits the soldier almost, then he comes back down around. But he just messes up on the execution, and because of it, Shun's basically committed for nothing. LNG get everything off the back of the dive because of it.
That's a tough one.
Look. Big tough one indeed. So Elk, no cleanse, just comes up now. By this point, it's useless, right? So he goes down. Stopwatch from on, I believe, to buy some time. Gravity well to pull him in. Let's get a look at Yagao though, because does he just think he can't get through? Yeah, you can't really get through that wall. So he's trying to just make, yeah, he's just trying to make it around to reposition. But why? Actually, just walk with Shun. Actually, he's overcomplicated it in his head, to be entirely honest with you. And off the back of it, LNG get a lot of additional kills that perhaps shouldn't have really been afforded. This Herald,
it's a bit brutal.
I think, was timing out, and now is going towards the top side.
I mean, you're quite happy to give this over to Bin, aren't you? He's going to just walk close enough. Gets a riposte to deny some of the damage. As Zika looking for the all-out, but just denied. Riposted. The Grand Duelist, living up to her name here, has been, with that Grand Challenge, Zika's got to be a little bit cautious on this top side not to step too far forwards, because he does not have the same resistances that he's been used to all lane. There we go. All-out drops off. You see Hung and Tarzan in the area on the top side, but they're too late to protect the tower.
Yep, that tower. If Bin has the opportunity to proc Demolish on it, he will kill it, so Zika. It feels like it's a bit of a done.
Just an auto E at this point, honestly, will finish the job. It's because the plates are down now.
Oh yeah, the plates are off, yeah. No, you're right. The plates are still on. So, yeah, Bin effectively very much one lane. He's got a lot of gold. Remember, he's been sat on that Sunder for like 5 minutes now, so his next base is going to be pretty hefty. Probably boots and Tiamat. Maybe a couple of extra components as well, if I had to wager a guess.
Well, he's going to finish the tower off now. So we'll see that recall come on through, and we'll see what he's able to purchase. It's going to be a lot. He's got almost a 50 CS lead up top. That is disgusting from Bin. He is the shining light for BLG right now. He's the reason that the gold is even in the game. Because when it comes to mid, when it comes to bot, there's a big advantage for LNG right now. And Tarzan, once again, I feel like we keep on saying this about his Maokai. 2-0-2. Phenomenal early game, playing to shut down what Shun is trying to make happen.
Exactly. And he's been proactive. He's not just been shutting down Shun, he's been proactive. That's the thing. And BLG, Shun, not really had much of a say in this game, right? I feel like the setup is really difficult. It's not really his fault, unless he's really playing to abuse top, which he just hasn't been. He's been trying to cover the bottom, then he's been trying to cover mid as well. Just not worked out for him. And now LNG continuing to put pressure down when and where they can. They really want to try and start this dragon up ASAP, but looking more to put a little bit of threat down onto the laners of BLG before that one comes through.
I feel like BLG right now need to just acknowledge that they cannot fight on the bottom side. If Bin's not there, they cannot fight. Bin going full Killian Murphy here. No fighting. Tommy Shelby at the top side just shouting at his teammates, please, for the love of God, stop fighting them. Stop giving them leads. I'll carry this game if you just stop fighting.
No. This is the LPL, Joe. You don't know where we are? Come on, buddy.
Oh, I know where we are. That's why he's so pressed. That's why he's shouting it down the microphone. Zika maybe oversteps here. Shun has his ultimate available, but looks like they're not going to commit to anything. Just going to let the recalls go on through on either side. And Bin can continue his pressure in the solo lane. I'm curious if they do swap him down to that bottom side to try and take the tier 1 tower.
Yeah. Look at the resets right now. Ezreal's mid. Looks like Yagao's pathing, opening out through top. So yeah, it seems like that's going to be the case. No dragon, of course, right? Wherever the dragon is, expect Bin basically to be on the opposite side of the map to that. Unless the Baron is up, in which case you'll see Bin be on the bottom lane. So very close to picking up that second item. Come towards the tier 2 boots instead for now. And once he does pick up that second item, he's really going to be a problem that I feel like Zika. It's just too difficult to deal with because he can just kind of space you out, proc the vitals, very slowly but surely whittle you down, and any damage that you do put into a health bar, she'll heal up off the wave. So yeah, LNG have that timer to deal with.
Take a look at the top lane gold a second, Jamada.
Yeah,
my God.
Yeah, no,
it's 17 minutes, and Bin is almost 2,500 gold up. That is insane. I mean, this feels like the World's Finals game that Suning won, where Bin was just an absolute monster on Fiora. If you remember correctly, that was SOFM with the tank Rengar too. What a game. What a game.
I
the
missed
counter
that
to
scientist.
Everlist. Legendary stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was all about Bin in the cage match. It was all about Bin getting so far ahead on this Fiora that he could even take over teamfights. Didn't even have to side lane. And that feels like the state for BLG. Bin's got to dig deep and be the carry for the team that we all know he can be.
And I like this, actually. So this is both good, but it's going to suck individually for Zika, because if they start putting Scout into Bin, then I feel like Scout should be able to wave clear enough, right? Defend against the Fiora enough. But the problem is, Zika's inventory, right? Look, he's got a Thorn Mail and he's got a Cloth Armor because he's probably going towards Tabbies. He's not really suited to deal with Yagao. Yagao's going to melt him. So he is really just on wave clear duty, pretty much. Been relegated here, and it's going to give BLG a little bit more breathing room. Speaking of, by the way, they've also got the Herald still, I'm pretty sure, right? That's in Shun's hands, so
yeah.
See where they look to actually try and place that one down. Eyeing up maybe a bot side player. Scout has people in the area, and he's trying to shove in this tower.
Oh, Bin's going in onto Scout, and there's an ult coming out from Shun, but Scout buffers it again. He just doesn't miss with the W's as Zika comes in on the backside of the play here. Yagao ults everyone away, gets into the team, but the bomb is on his head, and he blows to smithereens. Scout managing to save the play once again as Zika flashes forwards here. Can't find much else on the back of it.
Pinball in the middle of BLG members there. Yagao goes down. LNG able to defend the play, and Scout, you know, despite those couple of small blunders, his rocket jump timings have generally been so on point dealing with Shun's ultimate. Herald is going to get put down here in the mid lane, so they should just about trade out on the tower. Maybe if Bin can get his Demolish proc off, it doesn't look like he will be able to. Oh, Scout. He's feeling himself.
Hang on. Okay, they won't chase for this one. I thought they were going to go trying to chase them out of the map there, but Scout decides not to go for it for the time being. And remember, we're talking about scaling for BLG, but LNG certainly no slouch. Double AD carry composition here. You got the AP in the form of your Maokai as well, so this composition can certainly teamfight later on into the game. BLG can't afford to fall too far behind. Scout doing so much to shut down Bin.
Yeah, exactly. Bin tries to get the riposte down to find the slope. Doesn't quite connect, but again, an excellently timed rocket jump brings him out of danger. Scout, that is, and then you see here, bust the shot onto Yagao trying to get out. He actually gets knocked back by Zika, and then the bust shot connects. Makes him go back and forward. So we come out of the replay. BLG at least take this tier 1, which is like a bit of reprieve, right? They're going to be able to hold a little bit of pressure here for now. But like, you have to do something with it. You have to go and get the dragon. You have to maybe, I don't want to say threaten a Baron. I feel like if you try and threaten a Baron without 2 items on Elk and Yagao, you could just run into the issue of being run over by Tarzan pressing his Arky in front of the pit. So see if you can find the dragon, as LNG are actually kind of posturing more to shut down Bin on the side lane, which honestly, I don't mind this. You've got the first 2 dragons. If you give up this next dragon, the only objective on the map is Baron. You can just play for that.
I'm a big fan of this. I feel like Bin is the way that really BLG wins right now. So LNG understanding what's going on. Scout the centerpiece, it feels like, of this composition so far. Bin underneath his tower, dashes away. Solar Flare flashed from 4 players committed topside for LNG, and BLG survive it. Bin gets out with his life. It's a Drake on the bottom side for BLG. Another wave pushed in the mid lane. So BLG, a small win for them on Bin surviving, but they will still lose that tier 1 on the top side.
I've really got to give credit to LNG here, because I feel like the amount of teams you'll just see, you know, give up on this side lane, just put Zika into it and just tell him to hold on, right? and look for that third dragon. Sure, they lose out on this dragon, and that's going to suck in the immediate future. There's no like soul pressure, but now LNG have the opportunity to just focus on the Baron, right? And try and bring BLG into an awkward position, keep Scout roughly wherever Bin is. I will say the only awkward thing for now is that without teleport, they go back to putting Zika into Bin, but it's not the end of the world. Look, he's still going to get through the tier 1, the tier 2 before he's even touching the base. LNG, prime position with the Maokai set out to just slowly but surely suffocate BLG's vision out from this top side and look for a Baron attempt whenever it seems worthy.
Thornmail's been picked up now. Oh, recall denied. Nice little ult from Elk there. I feel like that's the first true shot barrage I've seen all game, to be honest. As at least Thornmail's finished off for Zika as well, so as you're saying, if he does end up stuck in that side lane against Bin, less one-sided is that. He's a big old LPL gold grab, isn't it? That's an extremely LPL gold grab. Granted, it's only 1,000 on one side and 700 on the other side, so it looks exaggerated, but yeah, very back and forth early game, as you can see. But BLG behind currently. It's LNG with the advantage. Ult comes out onto Scout here, but not much follow-up available, or is there? The crash down comes in, but On is just obliterated. Solar Flare onto Elk. He can't quite Captain Jack it, but Hung falls as Bin dives into the play himself. True Shot Barrage available. Tarzan has to be careful. Oh, it's ever so close, but it's ever so wide. BLG, 1-for-1 on supports.
Is this a Baron angle? Look how chunked out LNG are. A lot of the health bars are practically full. It's just Shun that's chunked out. Yeah, I think they see the angle as well. They're going to go for it. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame them. LNG have to try and vamp up, get back over here. It's a risky gambit from BLG, but you can't really blame them given the game state. Baron is dropping Lojo. They might just get it.
They're going to get the Baron. Can they get the fight as well, is the question. Baron taken. They're trying to get out over the back wall here. They dive in. All out to one. Yagao knocks them sideways as Bin tries to get out the top side of the play. Elk is alone here, and Scout will finish him off. That's 2 already. But BLG get out with 3.
Okay, that is a heist for BLG. As far as this game is concerned and how LNG have been navigating a lot of the lane assignments, the fact they're able to walk away with that Baron on 3 members is a pretty big deal. On Bin, I think crucially, the one that walks away with it, the fact he's going to be on the side lane now of that Baron buff is huge. So let's see what BLG can do with the pressure. LNG, I mean, again, they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit with the engages overall, but again, it came at the cost of basically looking for such strong lane assignments as On. Oh my goodness.
So Scout's doing a bit of damage, I think it's fair to say at this point. Like 2.5 items, he is shredding people.
This is 2 towers.
Off the back of, you know, a couple of blunders early on. Went for the
2 towers.
1-for-1 in the mid lane, which I don't think that was quite a blunder, but then getting caught out on the top side. Demolish comes in, as you say, 2 towers taken down. LNG are snowballing like crazy. It doesn't look like they're that far ahead.
Ooh.
Oh, the solar flare is so good from Hug. Denies the punish from Shun. Bin trying to collapse as well. Can they just run it down the mid lane, perhaps? They've got a minion wave.
Yeah, they should be able to bodyguard this one off Shun, so maybe they answer out those 2 towers they lost with a tower of their own, but still feels bad, doesn't it? At the end of the day, LNG will take their reset. They'll be back to defend the inhibitor tower at the very least. They probably lose this tier 2 up here, as BLG will look to rotate over. But again, is it really the end of the world?
I don't think they can actually threaten the tier 2, honestly. LNG are moving over, and yeah, you've got Baron, and maybe they can whittle it down with Baroned up cannons. Maybe that's the way they get the tier 2, but BLG calling the bluff on the top rotation. They move back into the mid lane instead. Mid inhib tower, suddenly half HP. Elk engaged on by Hung here, but they can retreat to the Sundisk. The roots come in, but it's a dive in your own territory here for LNG. They can't get past the Sundisk as Zika moves in. Enemy's Bin can take the tier 2 at the top side. Gala pressured. As the mid-tier 3, sorry, on barely any HP, On moves in, they'll finish the tower. This is beautiful from BLG, and suddenly they're back ahead in gold.
It's been a game of cat and mouse the entire game, the last 10 minutes. It's Tom and Jerry, everyone's walking around. LNG were out-rotating BLG for so long, but this small sequence here from BLG nets them effectively 3 towers, almost the inhibitor. Really, really good stuff there. Baron's going to time out in 30 seconds, and they should be able to get the Dragon as well on the back out of this sequence too.
And it feels like this is a sequence of plays that is saving BLG in the series. A 2-1 down, and it felt like they were pretty far down in this game with Scout being an absolute monster. Good ult from Elk. He's starting to do some damage on this Ezreal. Drake up onto the map. You do not want to let Infernal Soul point go to LNG. It does feel like BLG have control of the area, and Bin is putting so much pressure on the top side.
Yeah.
Scout has to go over and answer. Tarzan could maybe look for a steal. There's a ward in the pit here. Has been in a 2v1. He almost gets it, but taken down by Scout. Dragon taken by BLG. They've got to get out of here before they're punished.
Yeah, this is rough. LNG have kind of been caught in this death roll here by BLG that you don't want to be caught in, right? Fiora on the side lane, matching the Ksante. That's perfect. LNG
He's got a flank horizon.
Yeah, I mean, LNG can't really even answer, you know, the 4v4. They're outranged by Elk. Yagao soldiers as well make it very difficult to approach. This is not really the best spot for LNG to be in. It's the best spot, realistically, I think, for BLG. I think once the teleports come back out, Joe, once that teleport's up and available for Scout, then what I would expect the adaptation to be is basically Scout and Zika just try and match Bin 24/7 and then look to teleport to a play. Don't let the rest of your core get engaged on. As, yeah, they just make the call effectively to give up the Dragon, look to play onto Bin. Great riposte here. All Out comes through to bring him into Scout, and then he tries to dump the damage into Zika. Can't quite get that. Oh, he did. I think he got the Vial on the right-hand side, but not the top one, comically. Yeah. So healing could have maybe come through and made a difference, but unfortunately in this case, doesn't quite manage to hit the mark.
I think he had his second E auto that was about to go through as well, which maybe would have actually got the kill on Zika. That was really a game of inches. But they shut him down, and that's all that actually matters at the end of the day. Big CS leads as well in both mid and bot for the side of LNG. But then Bin has matched those two CS leads in his singular lane. Bin is doing so much heavy lifting for the side of BLG, for the side, or at least for their gold lead in this game. And Elk, you know, he's not got the greatest scoreline in this game, but the Ezreal, 2 items, almost 3 now. He's starting to come online, and like you say, the zone control that he offers feels like is important. Both him and Yagao, if they can finish those 3rd items, it's such a huge spike for them, but they're a full, like, half item behind at this point. LNG know it, but hung slightly wide on the solar flare, trying to get that engage.
Looking for it is the crucial thing, and I think LNG know. Again, you know, you try and match up to BLG in the 4v4, Elk and Yagao are probably going to outrange you. You need the ultimates of Tarzan and Hung to connect, and on the side lane, you're just on that timer, right? Bin's going to slowly push back Zika on the Ksante, so you have to make a decision. But either decision it feels like you make, you're going to just lose out so much more. Here you go, maybe a 2v1 onto Bin between Scout and Zika, but not quite able to find the mark.
There's no way they're getting away with that one. And BLG forcing priority in the mid lane by cutting off the wave, making sure that there's no universe where LNG get mid prior. There's no universe where they can get control. And it feels like right now, BLG, despite the gold being fairly even, despite the carries being ahead on LNG, at least in mid and bot, it's BLG that have control of River. And LNG, they're so desperate for this win. Imagine what a story it would be if they made it into finals now. Nobody expecting them. BLG fighting now as LNG do muscle their way into River, and Baron is up on the map.
Yeah, they're making the call. They know Bin's winning out on the side lane. They want his teleport out at least. This Baron's getting melted, actually. Double AD carry.
It's gone. It's already gone. They've taken, and now BLG potentially in a 4v5 as On actually goes in for this one. Hung low, but Scout just shreds them. I mean, it's disaster for BLG. LNG have just annihilated them. Bin is trying to make a base race happen, but in the meantime, his whole team has been taken apart. Scout flashing to get on top of Elk, who will jump away. Scout can't quite close the gap, and Elk will survive, but now LNG, they move into the base.
Is this the game? Do they have enough time? Do Bin and Elk have enough in the tank to defend this with Baron and almost every member available to take down these towers? I don't think they do. Here's the teleport from Zika as well. 4 versus 2, Joe. GA on Bin. They have to end it here.
Elk and Bin versus the world, the 2 main characters of the MSI run for BLG. They have to defend as On has respawned again. Bin threatening on the top side of the players. 1 tower goes down. LNG, they want their rematch against JDG, but they've got to finish BLG off first. Elk still fighting from safety, but LNG, they take down On. Recalls coming on through as the respawns have arrived from BLG. If they can find picks, this could turn around. The feathers are huge! It's a knockback across the team here, trading back and forth. BLG diving forward with a TP into the base. It's Zika, it's Scout to try and finish the game. He's on to the next. This is Yagao. Looks for his opposite man. Has to deny. But Scout taken down. Stunned
They've
up
got it.
into the death realm. Can they finish him? He's down, but the rest of the team is here. It's Gala to finish the game. And LNG booked their ticket to finals.
Maybe dreams can come true after all for LNG, taking down BLG 3-1. This one was hard fought, the game 4, but BLG just can't answer LNG's smart map rotations throughout. They had a couple of small sequences where, yes, they could, but for LNG, what a moment. They booked their ticket and their rematch into JDG in the finals. What a way to do it as well.
Absolutely unbelievable.